Google Wave, launched in 2009, is often cited as one of the most notable project management failures in the tech industry. While it initially generated significant excitement due to its innovative approach to communication and collaboration, the project ultimately failed to gain traction and was discontinued in 2010. Here's a deep dive into the key reasons behind the failure of Google Wave, analyzed from a project management perspective. 1. Lack of clear vision and purpose. Ambiguity. In scope, Google Wave was presented as a revolutionary product combining email, instant messaging, and social networking features. However, it lacked a clear, singular purpose that could resonate with users. It was seen as too complex and didn't fully answer any specific need. Overly ambitious goals. The project set out to completely overhaul communication systems, which was an ambitious task. It was unclear who the target audience was: business professionals, casual users, or anyone in between. And this ambiguity contributed to the confusion around its purpose. 2. Underestimating user experience. Complicated user interface, UI. Google Wave had an innovative real-time collaboration interface, but it was difficult for users to navigate. The interface felt like a mix of chat, email, and collaborative document editing, without providing a clear value proposition. Learning curve. New users found it difficult to understand the platform's features and workflows. Google failed to provide clear instructions or tutorials to help users get started, which resulted in user frustration. Failure to simplify. Despite the product's potential, Google Wave became overly complex. Instead of simplifying communication tools, it introduced too many new concepts in one package, overwhelming users rather than empowering them. 3. Inadequate market research and feedback. Misreading user needs. Google Wave's development was based on an assumption that users wanted a new form of communication without conducting enough user research to validate this hypothesis. The product was more of a solution in search of a problem, rather than being built around a concrete need identified through market research. A lack of user feedback loops. While the product had a beta release, Google did not gather enough actionable feedback from its users during this phase. The company failed to iterate based on the real-world experience of users and didn't adapt the product sufficiently to match user needs or expectations. 4. Technological overkill, overcomplication of features. Google Wave tried to integrate too many features into one platform. Real-time collaboration, message threading, shared document editing, and more were bundled into a single interface. For many users, these features were either unnecessary or poorly executed, leading to low adoption. Limited adoption of key technologies. Despite its real-time collaborative capabilities, the platform lacked seamless integration with other widely used Google services or third-party applications, reducing its appeal. It wasn't positioned as an integral part of users' existing workflows. 5. Failure to build a strong ecosystem, limited integration. Wave failed to build an ecosystem around itself. For a product to be successful, it needs to work with the existing tools and services users already rely on. Unlike Gmail, which benefited from a vast array of integrations, Google Wave had limited connectivity to the broader ecosystem of online tools, which hampered its usefulness. Lack of adoption by third parties. The platform failed to attract developers who could build on top of its APIs. While Google Wave was released with APIs that allowed for third-party development, the lack of widespread adoption of these tools signaled that developers weren't convinced the platform had long-term viability. 6. Timing and market readiness. Too early for its time. Google Wave was ahead of its time. Its emphasis on real-time collaboration and complex communication methods may have been innovative, but wasn't something users were ready to adopt in 2009. The product was released during a period when social media, email, and instant messaging were dominant and deeply ingrained in everyday use, competing with established platforms. The market was already saturated with well-established products like Gmail, Facebook, and Twitter, all of which had entrenched user bases. Google Wave could not easily replace or integrate with these existing services, which diminished its appeal. 7. Project leadership and strategic decisions. Unclear. Leadership. The project's leadership lacked a clear direction, with different teams within Google having varying ideas about the product's future. This led to inconsistent messaging about the platform's value and its intended user base. Google's hasty decisions. Google initially invested heavily in Wave, but pulled the plug after just over a year. This short-lived commitment shows a lack of long-term strategic planning and willingness to pivot when necessary. 8. Lack of sustainable monetization. Model. Failure to identify a revenue model. Unlike other Google products like Gmail or Google Search, Google Wave had no clear monetization strategy. This is critical for the long-term sustainability of any platform, and the absence of such a strategy made it harder to justify its continued existence within Google's portfolio. Missed opportunities for business use. Although Wave had potential for business collaboration tools, Google never successfully targeted enterprises or provided solutions tailored to business needs, which could have helped to drive monetization. 9. Inadequate communication and marketing. Failure to market effectively. Google Wave's marketing was largely confined to the tech community, and it did not manage to reach a broader audience effectively. Furthermore, the marketing campaign failed to clearly communicate what Wave was and why users should care about it. Excessive hype without results. The product's launch was heavily hyped, but the platform's failure to live up to these expectations led to disillusionment among early adopters. Conclusion. In summary, Google Wave's failure can be attributed to a combination of poor project management practices, lack of clear vision, failure to simplify user experience, technological overreach, and failure to adapt to market needs. Despite the product's innovative nature, it fell short due to its inability to clearly define its value proposition, its complex user interface, and its failure to gain widespread adoption. This case serves as a valuable lesson in the importance of 1. Clear vision and purpose for a product. 2. Understanding and addressing user needs. 3. Creating a product that fits into an existing ecosystem. 4. Continuous iteration based on user feedback. 5. Developing a sound monetization strategy from the outset. Google Wave is often considered a textbook example of a product that failed because it was too early, too complicated, and lacked the focus needed to meet user expectations in a competitive market.